Hello guys, thanks for being with me again. Let's see what we can find today. Something down here has caught my eye in the drag, so I was feeling kind of lucky today. Hate to say it, don't want to jinx myself, but look right there. So this lovely drag down here with a tide has pulled all these little metal items out. Okay, I think it's a hammy. Should we see what it is? Let's go in. We're seeing it at the same time. Oh, not a hammy at all, but a lead token of some description. I don't want to get caught up in this section for too long, but what I did want to show you was the abundance of pins. Look as I'm just lightly scraping. So many pins in this spot. I'm going to give it a few minutes here because, as I always say, where there's pins, there are coins. Now, whether that rings true or not is another thing entirely, but look, little bits of lead like this. See here? Once you get your eye onto the pins, you see them everywhere in great swathes. So, okay, but they're very distracting. Carrying on up the drag here, I've seen this. It's too good to be true, I think. It looks like it's going to go to the pair of washing. Yeah, but a good sign. Following on, we've got possibly a coin line starting. I'll give this area a look and then continue. There's something very cute down here on the back of a tide that just washed in. I can see if you can see it. It's a tricky one. Okay guys, I am switching to a little voiceover because for some reason my audio was crazy quiet. I know some of you struggle with my audio sometimes. Sorry about that. I tell you what, I think it's when there's someone nearby and I get a little self-conscious talking to myself on the foreshore, so I go a bit quiet. Anyway, let me tell you, this here is a lead toy. Whether it is, as I suspect, a shycock or not is another matter. I will explain in a minute what a shycock is. On the portable antiquity scheme, there are very similar cocks like this. However, a very good friend of mine who is a long-time mudlark says basically this is not a shycock. He's saying it's just a lead toy. I'm saying I think it is a shycock, so I need to have this looked at. So we will wait and see, but in the meantime, this is what a shycock is. Cock shying or cock throwing, also known as throwing at cocks, is a now thankfully redundant and almost certainly banned blood sport that was widely practiced in England until the late 18th century. This sinister game, somehow even more sinister because it's said to have been particularly enjoyed by children, involved a rooster, otherwise known as a cock, tethered either by being tied to a post, buried up to its neck in mud, or confined in an earthenware jar, while it had weighted sticks called cocksteels thrown at it. The aim of the game was not only to maim, but to kill. It is essentially enjoyment of the slow and torturous death of a defenceless animal. It gets worse though. Should the cock become lame in the legs for reasons of, a cocksteel splintering it into a million teeny tiny fragments, the players stepped in and supported the bird on sticks, tying them to its legs and propping the body up. Should the body no longer stand, well, the earthenware jar was employed to hold the bird upright. Famed Catholic utopian dreamer, considered by most to be an all-round good guy, St. Thomas More was said to have boasted of his skills with the cocksteels. Thomas, what are you doing? Surely he knew in his heart of hearts, notwithstanding the attitudes and belief of the time towards animals, that it was an ugly, wicked game to be playing. Not very saintly of him, to be sure. Even in the late 18th century, 1790 to be precise, people with a conscience knew that anything falling under the term of bloodsport equated to barbarism. The throwing of cocks on Shrove is still retained at Heston and Middlesex, in a field near the church, have been often directed to attend on occasion in order to put a stop to a barbarous custom, but hitherto have attended in vain. That was a bit of a mouthful, and that was also John Brand writing in Popular Antiquities 1791. By the late 18th century, the practice of cockshying had tailed off. The end was a long time coming, though. Bristol in the 1660s enacted a ban of cockshying on the religious festival of Shrove Tuesday, perhaps not for the sake of the animal as much as the appeal of calm, as it was recorded to have caused rowdiness and rioting on the holy day. In 1751, William Hogarth illustrated cockshying as the first in his 4 stages of cruelty, and in 1753 the church got involved once again in putting a stop to the sport via Josiah Tucker, aka Dean Tucker, the Welsh churchman. Again, Shrove Tuesday was used as leverage, but the concern over animal welfare was clearly cited in Tucker's earnest and affectionate address to the common people of England concerning their usual recreations on Shrove Tuesday, where he described cockshying as the most cruel and barbarous diversion. It would appear that Thomas More's bragging of being a champ cocksteel didn't age so well, really, did it? By the 19th century, cockshying had in some areas of England been banned altogether. In others, magistrates were giving out fines for public disorder due to the sport being played, so interest naturally waned. It's thought that until fairly recently, lead cockshy toys were a bit of a mystery, but they do feature in Forsyth and Egan's toys, trifles and trinkets. Were they created as a substitute for the live cock when the game fell out of fashion, or were they used to practice on before having a go at the real thing? Now back to my find, specifically the reasons I believe it to be a shycock and why my mudlark friend does not. My mudlark friend tells me that true shycocks are much larger in size than the cockerel I have found, which is true of some examples I have seen. However, I am arguing that why shouldn't smaller representations exist? They certainly do on PAS. I believe my artefact to be a shycock mostly because the dimensions tally with those on PAS, the Portable Antiquities Scheme, and the fact it has a flat base, therefore it's designed to stand, but the base is circular, unlike that of lead toys, which are usually rectangular or square. To me, this says the lead cock is designed to stand yet topple over if something is thrown at it. I agree with my friend that it is not the same large size as other 19th century shycocks I've seen examples of, but could that not indicate that it's not an early piece, rather a later development in lead shycocks representative of the blood sport that fell out of favour in the 1850s? What do you guys think? Here's a funny one. It just washed in on the tide. Looks token shaped. Edges cut off there. I need to get that home and get it cleaned up to actually work out what it is. It could be a weight even, but no, that punched in there. Yeah, I need to get that cleaned up. That's a nice thing. Okay, got a nice one down here for you. Haven't had one in a while. Also, the tide's about to splash in. I'm sure you can probably see what it is. Here we are. As I saw it, I just pulled this rock back and there it was, sitting like that. Let's take it out. And that is not KNOP from a Tudor or earlier money box. The money box knife. Very nice. Little bit nibbled. Okay, more than a little bit nibbled, but still lovely. Uh-oh, I've got a jump. Well, I'm not going to jump, was it? Get out the way of this tide about to splash in. Yes, very nice. Haven't had one of these in a while. Get that cleaned up at home. And put it with my others. Lovely. While we're in the pottery zone, here we go. This is a nice little detail on a salt glazed Bartman, or just a salt glazed jug, but yeah, I should be able to get an idea on that. Lovely little fragment. This may seem utterly deranged to you given this is pretty knackered, but I'm going to take this blade home and see if I can find some kind of marking on it, a cutler's mark or something. I doubt it because it looked like it would have been a bit longer, but you never know. You've got to give it a go sometimes. So we'll get this home and clean it up. It's pretty knackered. Lots of horrible rust in there, but yeah, I will see what I can do with it. So today is full of things we need to check out, and I'll have to let you know later exactly what they are. This, hopefully, is the tip of a basalard dagger. I sent it to Simon Moore, the knife and cutlery expert. He says he's not an expert on weapons, but he's taking a guess that this is the tip of a basalard, which would be so cool. I will update you on it. And if my eyes don't deceive me, although I have since lost it, somewhere down here, I'm sure I saw a little green gem. Okay, so I found a few lovely green beads. I'm just going to keep taking a look through here because there is something so therapeutic about finding these little lovely things. Yeah, but the tide's coming up now, so I'm coming to the end of the day anyway. I found my good finds, so let's see how many more beads I can get. Just giving you a little heads up here if anyone needs a fork. There you go. Giant fork, that is. Garden fork, pitchfork. There you go, free of charge. So I've just whacked my leg, remember, be careful out here folks, and I've spent ages collecting these bloody beads. I'll show you in a minute. I think, however, we have a juicy find down here. So, have a little look, and then we'll go in on it. And I'm really hoping it's complete. Okay, there. So there it is. Let's get a closer look. Alright, so it looks like a lovely cloth seal. We'll see how much there is. I think it's possibly a two-part. I've got to be really gentle with it, so I might just come in here. These are lead and they're very fragile. There we go, nice. Oh yeah, two-part, oh no, I think it was a four-part seal because there's a second bit. And there's a bit and there should be another bit on there. Okay, we'll get that cleaned up and have a good look, but yeah, lovely find. This four-part cloth seal dates to the 17th century. If I can get some more of the dirt off there, I should be able to see the date. Would have been attached to Kersey cloth. It's a cheap kind of woolen cloth. It's a coarser cloth than the typical wool you would probably think of. And that originated in Suffolk, but it was also made in lots of different places like Yorkshire, Devon and Somerset. It's an all-nages seal. It's got a portcullis on it with a crown over the top and the number 44 there on the seal. I will let you know more about it when I find out. Going slightly mad, just pulled up a pin with a seed bead on it and thought, oh my god, there's a bead on a pin. Realise it's one of these. It's actually that one that dropped out of my glove back there. Yeah, going a bit mad. But here, just pulled this up. Not sure if I can see anything on that. Some kind of token, I think, definitely lead. Get it cleaned up and we'll see what I can see on it. Yeah, there's definitely something. Maybe it's part of a seal actually. Yeah, probably. check that out at home. I did look for the other part of that seal I found a minute ago, but no dice. Anyway, yeah, good for metal today. I was just bemoaning the fact I hadn't found a button today, and here we go. Let's see. Okay, I'll sort that out when I get home, but here we are. Pretty, very pretty. That'll clean up really nicely. Check that out at home. Good metal day. Actually, I'm wondering if that might be a cufflink. I don't know, it's sort of got concretion on the back there, so I need to get this off, but it feels like a long sort of bar-shaped attachment. Yeah, I'll get it home and then we will know. Alright guys, well, what a whopper of a day, bumper metal finds, so pleased to have you with me, and until the next time, stay cool, good luck out there, see you then.